All right, let's talk football. You know, when you really get down to it, the NFL is so much more than just a game played on a 100-yard field. It's a story. It's a tradition passed down through generations. Grandparents to grandkids huddled around the TV on a Sunday afternoon, the roar of the crowd, the smell of hot dogs in the stadium air, that feeling in your stomach when your team is driving down the field with seconds left on the clock, a shared experience that brings entire cities together, creating a bond that's hard to explain but easy to feel. You can walk into any town in America and find someone who has a story about their favorite team. For many of us, the love starts early, playing catch in the backyard with your dad, trying to throw a perfect spiral like your favorite quarterback, seeing a highlight on the news, a spectacular one-handed catch that looked impossible. You can't tell the story of the NFL without talking about the legends who shaped the game. These icons didn't just play, they redefined what was possible on the field, inspiring generations and changing football forever. Let's start with Johnny Unitas, known as Johnny U. In the 1950s and 60s, he was the face of the Baltimore Colts and the NFL itself. Unitas was a pioneer, the quarterback who brought the passing game to life and led his team with unmatched poise. He basically invented the 2-minute drill, orchestrating comebacks with ice in his veins. Unitas wore his signature high-top black cleats and looked every bit the field general, setting the standard for modern quarterbacks. Leader, decision-maker, clutch performer. Unitas led the Colts to multiple championships, and his legacy lives on every time a quarterback leads a last-minute drive. He showed the world that football could be won with brains as much as brawn. Then there's Jim Brown, the great running back for the Cleveland Browns. In an era built to stop the run, nobody could stop Jim Brown. He was a physical force of nature, bigger, faster, and stronger than almost anyone he faced. Brown led the league in rushing 8 out of 9 seasons, then walked away at his peak. He changed the way the running back position was played, combining power, speed, and vision like no one before him. Brown's dominance forced defenses to adapt, and his legacy paved the way for future generations of running backs. He remains one of the most respected and influential players in NFL history. Now, think about Lawrence Taylor, LT, for the New York Giants. In the 1980s, Taylor revolutionized the outside linebacker position. He was relentless, explosive, and changed the way defense was played. Offenses had to change their blocking schemes just to try to slow him down. Taylor's speed and power made him a nightmare for quarterbacks and offensive coordinators alike. LT won 2 Super Bowls, was named NFL MVP as a defensive player, and inspired a new generation of defenders to play with intensity and fearlessness. These legends, Unitas, Brown, and Taylor, didn't just play football, they changed it. Their impact is still felt every Sunday, in every huddle, and in every highlight reel. The NFL is built on the shoulders of giants, players whose greatness set the bar for everyone who followed. That's what makes this game so special. Every great story needs a dominant force, a Goliath. In the NFL, we call them dynasties. These are the teams that didn't just have one great season, they defined an entire era. The Green Bay Packers of the 1960s, led by Coach Lombardi and quarterback Bart Starr, they were the first great dynasty, 5 championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls. They won with toughness and execution. The Pittsburgh Steelers of the 1970s, the Steel Curtain. 4 Super Bowls in 6 years, a punishing defense, and Hall of Famers. They were just intimidating. Moving into the 80s and 90s, 2 different styles emerged. The San Francisco 49ers, Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Steve Young, a dynasty built on finesse and offensive genius. Their West Coast offense, short passes, precise routes. The Dallas Cowboys of the 1990s. The triplets, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. A physical, star-studded powerhouse. 3 Super Bowls. But for every Goliath, there's a David waiting for his shot. The NFL game we watch today looks a lot different than the one our grandparents watched, and a big reason for that is the evolution of the rulebook. Some changes are small tweaks, but others have completely transformed how the game is played. One of the most significant was the Mel Blount rule in 1978. Back then, big physical cornerbacks like the Steelers' Mel Blount could basically mug receivers all the way down the field. The league decided to open up the passing game, so they made it illegal for defenders to make significant contact with a receiver more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. That one rule change was like opening a floodgate. Suddenly, passing became a lot easier. Quarterbacks and receivers could connect on timing routes without the receiver getting bumped off his path 10 yards downfield. This paved the way for the high-flying passing attacks of the 80s and beyond. It made stars out of guys like Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and made the wide receiver position more glamorous than ever. It shifted the balance of power from the defense to the offense and started the trend towards the pass-heavy league we see today. It was a simple change with a massive impact. Another huge area of change has been player safety, especially for us quarterbacks. Football is a game of incredible athletes, but it's the specific skills they master that make them great. Let's start with a running back. It's not just about being fast. Vision, see a hole open up before it's even there. Moves to make defenders miss. One of the classics is the spin move. Imagine a defender coming at you, ready to make a tackle. A running back like Barry Sanders would plant his foot, and in one fluid motion, spin his body 360 degrees around the defender. The defender is left grabbing at air, and the back is already 10 yards downfield. Timing, balance, body control. Now let's step into the pocket, my old office. A quarterback's most important skill, besides a strong arm, is pocket presence. The pocket is the protected area formed by your offensive linemen. It's rarely a clean, perfect circle. It's constantly collapsing. Pocket presence is that internal clock you have. That feeling of when to step up, when to slide to the side, or when to get out of there and run. Alright, let's have some fun with some facts you can use to impress your friends. Did you know the Green Bay Packers are the only publicly owned, non-profit, community-owned Major League team in the US? That's right, the fans literally own the team. Here's another one. The longest field goal in NFL history was kicked by Justin Tucker in 2021. It was 66 yards. The ball bounced off the crossbar and went through. Imagine the pressure of a kick like that with the game on the line. These little details make the league's history rich. Let's talk records. Some of them seem unbreakable. Jerry Rice's career receiving yards, 22,895. That's over 13 miles of catching footballs. The next closest active player isn't even close. Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record. Brett Favre's Ironman streak, 297 consecutive starts. That number is mind-boggling. Who is the GOAT? When you talk quarterbacks, names come up. Joe Montana, Tom Brady. How do you compare them? The fun is there's no right answer. It's a conversation that connects generations of fans.